Hello everyone, this is John Galt speaking, here with a live stream for about, I don't know what, a year ago, maybe? Been about a year since I did a stream. So, I thought I would come on here and just have a general chat, let you guys know what I've been up to, if anything. Hang out, drink a coffee. And that's about the extent of it. You guys can ask questions in chat if any of you guys even still come around this channel anymore. And we'll just sit here and shoot the breeze or whatever. How about that? So I'm just going to kind of get prepared here. And I don't know how long this stream will be. If anybody shows up, it'll probably be longer than if anybody don't. So, I am kind of curious when the last time I did a stream was. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go see when the last time I actually did a live stream was? Which I was just here a minute ago. I don't know why I didn't stay. So it looks like I did one about 8 months ago. So not quite a year. So the last live stream that I did, I had downloaded the early access version of Unreal Engine 5 and kind of went and poked around in that for a little bit, and that's it. That's all I did. You guys haven't heard butt kiss out of me. I also am not in the Discord server that I was in previously, just for various different reasons. Hadn't been. And another thing we should probably do is, let's do this. So we'll go to the Unreal Engine forums, and I'll just open this page up here, and we will let this sit here kind of like this. And I'll put chat over here on my other screen, so if you guys do show up or whatever, just feel free to, let me go ahead and type that in case anybody shows up late. Okay. So what have I been doing and what have I been up to? Well, I will tell you guys that I haven't been up to anything. I have basically taken an entire year off. I haven't done any work. I haven't done any contract work for anyone. I haven't done any private consultations for anyone. And really the only thing that I've done is answer questions for students who are taking my course on Udemy, and also responding to questions and stuff that are on my UE4 marketplace page for people who are interested in those products that I sell or have purchased it and had questions and stuff like that. Other than that, I can't really recall doing a single thing in the Unreal Engine. I've had to open my projects a couple of times to help someone who was having problems with stuff. I've also had a couple questions on my Udemy course that people are taking where I've had to open the Unreal Engine and I don't know, do a screen capture or something like that, showing them where, they had a issue at when they were trying to follow along with the course. So, some of you guys that have been around here for a while, you probably know that I was 110% invested in Unreal Engine 4 and game design. And I've been doing this for quite so many years now. And that's what I did to earn revenue, right? That's what I did to make a living, basically. And I had a episode, if that's what you want to call it, where I ended up in the hospital about a year ago. And from that point on, I will tell you guys that my perspective on a lot of different things has changed. And suddenly, I lost any and all motivation to do anything that pertained to game design, gaming in general, and the Unreal Engine specifically. I made a couple videos describing my experience, if that's what you want to call it, that I had, the episode that I had, and it actually got me in trouble, believe it or not. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about here. So let's go back to my YouTube page, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So if I go to, I think it's YouTube Studio. Guys, it's been so long since I've done this. I literally have a hard time trying to remember how to damn live stream and stuff. So essentially what you guys can see right here is I have a active community guideline strike, and it's a warning. And this occurred because of something that I said, or some things that I said in one of those videos that I made pertaining to my episode that ended me up in the hospital. Okay. And so after that, I basically just didn't stream anymore. You know, I really don't want to lose my channel on YouTube, specifically because it's tied to my Udemy course and my products that I sell on the UE4 marketplace. So if I was to lose this channel, that would be a problem. So I basically just didn't make any more videos or anything. And yeah, so I can't really go back through, and won't go back through what happened exactly, but it was something pretty significant. And I'll just tell you guys, basically, I thought I was dying, and that's not cool. Of course, I didn't. And they did all kinds of tests on me. You know, they did brain scans, they did blood work, they did urine work. They did all kinds of things to me when I was at the hospital, and they couldn't find a single thing wrong with me. But obviously there was something wrong with me. I just now kind of have came to the conclusion that it was not something physically wrong with me. And it wasn't really necessarily something mentally wrong with me. It was more along the lines of something spiritually was wrong with me. And I kind of had to get that worked out before things started getting back to a little bit of a semblance of what I would consider to be normal. And here we are. You know, that happened, I think it was around November of last year, or actually it would be, yeah, it would be 2 years ago now, wouldn't it? No, it'd be about a year ago, I guess. Whatever. Time's weird to me now, guys. I don't know why, but it's really weird to me. Very strange. Very, very strange. And you know, honestly, guys, I'll just tell you, things continue to be strange to me. And, you know, it's kind of hard to describe what I mean when I say things are strange to me, but they're strange to me now. It's like things that I used to think that I knew are not really the way that I perceive them to be previously. You know, and I have to be careful what I say here, and that really sucks too, you know, YouTube censoring the crap out of people and all that stuff. That's really a pain in the butt that you have to be careful what you say anymore. Otherwise you get in trouble, right? Who would ever thought in the United States where we live these days, that you had to be careful of what you say. And, you know, I suppose everybody's got their own positions on what things are and how things should be and all that stuff. So, you know, I quit arguing with people a long time ago. I never have got wrapped up into arguing with people specifically over, you know, you guys, I'm sure, have heard this said a million times. Two things that you don't talk about with other people are politics and religion. And so I quit doing that kind of stuff a long time ago. It's futile, right? You're never going to change anyone's mind. And I came to realize that to be 100% true. You cannot change people's minds most of the time, and you definitely can't change people's morals, right? You know, people have their own way of believing and living and thinking, and that's perfectly fine. But some people make it their personal business to, I don't know, coerce people into believing their way and thinking that that's the only way. And so I quit doing that kind of crap a long time ago. I'll tell you guys, I've been down about, I don't know, in a year's time, imagine how many rabbit holes I've been down, researching information, acquiring knowledge, looking into things that I previously didn't give a crap about. So I've been on a very long journey. And, you know, honestly, what really struck me as funny was after investing all that time into going down all these different rabbit holes, searching for the quote unquote truth of what things are and the way things are, I asked myself a very specific question. And it was this: even if I did find the truth of whatever it was I was looking through, what damn difference would it make? You know, I mean, honestly, I asked myself that question. What difference would it make anyway? What could I do about it? What could I do to change it? And, you know, honestly, the answer to that is no. You know, honestly, it really don't matter. It really don't matter, other than the satisfaction of knowing that you found what you were looking for. That's really it. Other than that, it's just a big, complete waste of time. Oh. All right. So I'll just keep streaming, guys, and I'll just have random conversation here. So if any of you guys in chat want to ask questions or anything, feel free to do so. But anyway, yeah, I got a warning on my YouTube page, so I have to be very careful what I say here. Another thing that I would like to do is, let's see here. Let me actually use the launcher here and get logged in. Oh, by the way, I'm actually on Windows 11. So there's another development that happened. I'm actually using Windows 11, which I can't tell very much a difference between it and, you know, the previous version of Windows 10 or whatever it was I was using. Other than it's a stupid download and you had to download it or whatever. I got to get my launcher updated here. I haven't been in here in 1,000 years, but I guess I can go in here and, you know, talk to you guys a little bit. I haven't done a forum serpent stream in 1,000,000 years. So maybe we'll go see what the current goings on is with the Unreal Engine. Now, guys, I want to be perfectly clear here and say this before we get further into this. I don't know, just to be clear, I don't know if I will ever do any more work in this engine, Unreal Engine 4 or 5. I don't know. You know, I guess I'll say this. Ever since I've been doing this and using this engine and trying game development and, you know, all that stuff and doing this, it's been a labor of love always. There has never been very much money in it, although I have made some money doing this over the years. It's not really a feasible way to sustain yourself financially. I'll just tell you guys that. Never has been. Even when I was 110% full tilt into this, some months I might do pretty good, and then some months I wouldn't make a nickel, right? So that is motivation killing in and of itself. And then, of course, whenever what happened to me, where I lost all motivation to do this kind of stuff anymore, you all know that doing it in the first place is a passion, a labor of love. Not everybody's cut out to do it, and not everybody's got the persistence to stick with it long enough to actually get anywhere or get any traction. So I don't know if I will ever be back doing this again. My guess is probably no. Unless something changes and I actually manage to find motivation to do this again. And just to be clear also, it has nothing to do with Unreal Engine 5. That video that I made where I took Unreal Engine 5 for a test drive and basically said, I ain't impressed. And of course they moved a bunch of stuff around and a lot of things are different than it is compared to Unreal Engine 4. And I always tell you guys that one of the reasons that I continue to use older software like Maya 2015 or whatever it is that I use in old versions of Adobe is because it takes such a time investment into learning how to operate these complex pieces of software that when they change it dramatically, like in an upgrade as an example, it takes far too long to go back and kind of refamiliarize yourself with the engine all over again, just because they decided they wanted to change stuff and move stuff around. So it has nothing to do with that. It's just that I just really don't have any desire to do this anymore, which some people might find strange that I just was 110% wide open, working my ass off in this to, I don't even give a shit anymore. But nevertheless, that's exactly what happened with me. Okay. So I am still selling these products on the UE4 marketplace. So let's go in here for a second. No, what am I doing again? Who am I? Where am I? What year is this? No, I don't want to go there. What I'm actually looking for is my page. What I'm looking for. Oh yeah, that's not going to work. Hey, I know how we could do this. Let's do it this way. You guys can tell how much I'm actually on here. Can't even figure out how to find my own damn page. Right, we can go this way. That's what I meant to do. So yes, I do still have these products on here for sale, and I appreciate every single person that has purchased one of these from me. I really do. And I also appreciate each and every person that leaves a review on these. And I try to go through here and, you know, every time somebody leaves a review, I try to appreciate them leaving the review, right? So I do that. And so most everybody's pretty satisfied with all this stuff. And that's good, right? Because I did work really hard on creating these products for sale here. So I hope you guys are getting a lot of use out of it. I don't sell a whole heap of this stuff anymore, and I suspect it's going to continue to get less and less as Unreal Engine 5 comes more prominent. So I do that, and also I want to go ahead and give a good shout out to Udemy. So let me go ahead and bring up my Udemy page. So I currently have 128 people have purchased this, which I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for that. Thank you very much. And I also have 44 reviews, and so I also make it a point to go through there and thank each and every single one of those people that leave a review too. And currently I am at 4.7 out of 5 stars, so I don't get a whole lot of people asking questions about this, so to me, that makes me feel like I've done a fairly decent job at explaining what it was that we were doing in that, and it's jam-packed with information, so I hope people learned a lot, right? And that's good, because that's exactly what it was meant to be. Wasn't to, hey, how do I build my game, bro? It was to give people a good insight into using the Unreal Engine so that they can go make their own game, bro. Right? That's exactly what it was. So I appreciate you guys for that. Thank you very much. And that's 44 hours, by the way. That's 44 hours of my life that I will never get back. But I had a lot of fun making it. I really did. So thank you guys for that. Very much. All right, so it says I have 3 people watching me. So you guys over there in chat, if you ever wanted to ask a question, you better ask it, because I may not ever stream again. I don't know. I might create a new page, right? A new YouTube page or something like that, where I talk about things other than the Unreal Engine, specifically because I'm not really... You know, it's honestly sad to me that I don't have the motivation to do that anymore. Because I spent a real long time doing that, and I have a lot of time invested in it. But, you know, guys, if you're not motivated to do it, you just can't do it. Like, I can't force myself to do it. And every time I was going to make a live stream and give you guys an update about what's happened to me and what's going on, every time I'd get ready to do it, I'd just be like, never mind. So I don't know what happened to me. It just killed my motivation, whatever it was. It could be God's way of telling me that I was wasting my time. What do you think? Is that possible? Is that what it was? I don't know. I guess I will never know. Okay, so I guess we can kind of go through the forums here. Well, it's been so long since I've been here, it looks like they've changed the forums. Okay, so I'll never be able to find anything in here ever again, obviously. So I'm just kind of looking through the new forum here. I haven't been here in forever. Well, it looks like people are still looking for work, stuff like that. So let's see here. Blueprint visual scripting. I guess maybe we could go in here and poke around for a little while. Gravity and simple collision. Let me bring Chad over here so that everybody can see. So there's Mr. Dragon Cave Studios. I remember you. Sad to hear you might disappear. You are super knowledgeable and I love your theory crafting, but I respect any decision you make. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's that I want to disappear. I mean, honestly, I'll just tell you, I'm not doing anything. Like literally, I'm not doing it. Well, I take that back. What I'm actually doing is being a good brother to my brother, being a good son to my mother, right? That's what I'm doing. But as far as it comes to doing work, I don't do any work. I don't have a 9-to-5 job. I don't do any contract work anymore. I don't do any consultation videos anymore. I don't make any products anymore. I don't make any tutorials anymore. So literally I have been doing nothing. Okay. So it ain't that I want to disappear and run away. It's just that I just don't have motivation anymore. Whatever happened to me a year ago when I had that episode that ended me up in the hospital, something in me changed. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it happened. All I know is that I do not have any kind of desire to do anything when it comes to, let me say it this way, right? Maybe this will be a better explanation. So you guys know, I mean, I've never been a Facebook guy. Never. As a matter of fact, I've never been a social media guy. Like I've never gave a crap about Facebook. I never gave a crap about MySpace, which was what was before Facebook. I never gave a crap about Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, right? I've never been a social media kind of guy, ever. So you guys know that Facebook is turning into what's called metaverse, right? And I saw some studies in my rabbit holes that I went down, right? I told you guys I've been down many rabbit holes. And I read some studies about how much of our society today has shifted over from doing things in the real world to doing things virtually. And you guys should look into that if you care. And when the plague upon the land started, that expeditiously increased dramatically. Okay. So in other words, let's say that it was people spent 60% of their downtime in virtual scenarios, meaning they were either Facebooking or they were twitting or they were gaming or they were watching YouTube videos. The vast majority of the time that people were not working, as an example, not at their job, the vast majority of their spare time went from, used to it was watching television, right? Used to, that's what everybody did. All they ever did was sit and watch TV, watch movies, TV shows, and all that stuff. Well, it transferred from that to Facebooking, twitting, Instagramming, TikToking, YouTubing. And now with Facebook becoming metaverse, what they're trying to do is to get every moment that people are not actually working to be spent online, right? And so I guess maybe one of the things that happened to me, a year ago when I had that episode, was that here I am spending the vast majority of my time teaching people and creating things to occupy the majority of their time. In other words, I'm teaching people how to make games that are fun, interesting, and engaging to play, so that instead of those people doing things in the real world, let's get them into where they spend the vast majority of their time, instead of doing things in the real world, playing this crappy game that I made, right? I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or not, but that was the moral dilemma, if you want to call it that I encountered. Was I think we need to go the opposite way. In other words, instead of living quote unquote virtual lives online and in games and on social media, we need to move away from that back to, hey, let's go to the park and play with kids, right? Like, let's take our kids to the park, get them outside climbing on the monkey bars and, playing jump rope and all that crap, instead of staring at a computer screen or a phone screen, right? And so I guess maybe that's what killed my motivation, was that I don't want to be part of helping remove people from the real world and reality into a virtual world. So maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Hello, Ripper Junkie. What's happening, dude? Hello, John. I was just thinking about you. Well, oddly enough, the other day, I was looking through my liked video playlist, right? And there was a video that you had made. I'm pretty sure it was you, that you had made playing guitar. And I went and rewatched your video again as I was going through my liked video list. So that's pretty cool. And hello, Adrian. What's happening, dude? So anyway, I do have chat open on my other screen. So you guys, I'm going to hang out here for a while and, just have random conversation. It doesn't necessarily have to have anything to do with the Unreal Engine or any of that. I'm sitting here drinking a coffee and just, kind of letting you guys know that I didn't die, right? Like, I'm not dead. I guess I just moved on. Okay. Maybe just to say, focusing on things in the real world more than focusing on things, focusing on things in the virtual world where it's all fake and it don't matter anyway. Okay. Yeah, but it's fun. Well, I know. Yeah, it probably is. It probably is. Okay, so let's just kind of look through some of these topics here. An official forum surfing stream, Unreal Engine 4 forum surfing stream. I'll kind of look through here and see if anything pokes out at me. So, gravity and simple collision, Unreal Engine 4, multi-line text box, UI, boy. I never did get worth a damn at that. Never did. Is there a Windows minimize restore event? Let's see here. Map motion controller rotation, laser pointers, get actor of class inventory question. I never was worth a damn at inventory. I think the only inventory I ever made was, hell, I don't even remember now. Did the TPS template that I made, didn't I make an inventory for that? But it basically just held the 3 guns that the character carried. I don't even remember. I don't even remember now, but inventory never was my thing either. Let's see. Event for when object switches LODs. Let's see here. How do I change the save game location? I don't think I ever did a freaking save game either. I don't think in all the years I've been doing this, I don't think I ever created a save game feature. Not one time. Let's see here. Cube doesn't overlap with box collision. Variable can't be really set since it keeps considering the default value. Okay, I see you guys chatting over here, so let me bring this over. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch me play guitar for a bit. Yeah, that's something that I don't do anymore either, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure I told you guys a long time ago that I had to give up playing acoustic guitar because my hands got to where I couldn't do it anymore. But I did. I used to play acoustic guitar quite a bit. Good to know you're alive. Yes, I'm still alive. Barely, though. Just barely. Hanging on by a thread. Real life can be fun, too. I wouldn't say everything about VR is fake, in my opinion. People like to talk about their real life stories while in VR, or as some kind of virtual character. Yeah, the whole point is to do what makes you happy and mentally health. Yep. You didn't implement save games because you did multiplayer stuff. That probably could be the reason too. It's not simple to create a save game state for multiplayer. It's not, because people can cheat. I guess that's why I never did it. I tried to keep most of my stuff simple. Let's see here. Collision issue with actors that have projectile movement. I see a lot of people that have trouble with collision and projectiles. There was one time, I think it was trying to get the surface type when a projectile hits an object, right? Like, as an example, doing a different sound based on the object that you hit. So in other words, make water sound like water, make wood sound like wood, or play a different particle effect. You have to be able to get the surface type in order to do that. And there was some sort of a magical checkbox somewhere in the collision that you had to do specifically to get projectiles in order to do it. I remember having hell with that one time. Took me forever to try to figure that out, but it was some sort of a magical checkbox. It was something to the effect of, let's see how good my memory is. It was something to the effect of detect physics object while moving, or some bullshit like that. Right? I bet we could find it. Now that's going to bug me, right? Let's see here. God, I don't even remember how to do this at all. Like, at all. Oh, here we are. Well, no, that ain't right. Well, hell, we'll just open this one then. Fine, have it your way. I can't even remember how to operate this shit anymore. Pathetic. All I need to do is just go look at the collision. It was some hidden checkbox somewhere. And if I don't find it, it's going to bother me. So we have to go find it. Because somebody will watch this video and they'll be like, yeah, that's the exact problem I'm having. Where did you say that was? So we have to go find it now. I should have just kept my big fat mouth shut. Right? So we pick the collision, and I think it's in here somewhere. Right here it is. I believe it's this one. Return material on move. You have to have that checked in order to get it to return the surface type. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it right there. All right, whatever. Stupid engine. It's still just as stupid as it always was. Let's see here. UE 4.27 diagonal move keys problem. Access none, trying to read. I like how they kind of put these little tags at the end of this now so that you don't waste your time going in there where somebody's already answered the question. I guess that's kind of helpful. Let's see here. Reducing erratic camera collision behavior using applied damage but healing. Resolved. Maybe I just shouldn't read the ones that are tagged resolved. Enemy has glitchy movement around player, teleports small distances when player moves. Well, I can already tell you what the problem is with this one. If it's multiplayer that they're having this issue, it's because it's engine 4.26. Jungle, why do you keep using Unreal Engine 4.15? Fuck around and find out. That's how. It's because they kept changing shit from after that version, and a lot of it had to do with the way that the movement was calculated. And things that used to work perfectly fine in multiplayer magically just quit working anymore. So yeah, it's a pain in the ass. On begin overlap, how to respond only to a mesh component. Cast to it. Right? Ain't that how you would do it? You would cast to it? I don't know. Can you even do that? I don't know. We can find out. Want to find out? Let's find out. So on an overlap, if you wanted to specifically check for a mesh component, maybe we could do a cast to mesh. I might be stupid, right? But can you not? Right? So you could do a static mesh. You could do a spline mesh. You could do a skinned mesh, or you could do a skeletal mesh, right? So if it's just your average static mesh, you could do this, right? And if this checks out to be true, then that means this pin fires. If it hits anything other than a mesh, cast failed will happen. So if you wanted to do, what did he say it was? Overlap? Is that what he said? On begin overlap, how to respond only to a mesh component, right? So event actor begin overlap. So it would be this, right? And if it's a static mesh, once again, this pin fires. If it's not, this pin fires. But he said component, right? Isn't that what he said? Hold on. Let me go look at this again. Respond only to a mesh component. Maybe we could try mesh component, right? Yeah, see there? That'd be the easiest way. Right there. So, once again, basically a cast node is simply a true false. So you take your object, whatever it is, on begin overlap, and this right here simply checks it. Is it a mesh component? Yes or no? Yes, this fires. No, this fires. Is it a skeletal mesh component? Yes, this fires. No, this fires. You can do that with anything, any object in the game. Here's another good one that a lot of people don't know. So if you want to check if something is a landscape, look here. All you have to do is cast to the landscape. If it hits, well, I mean, you wouldn't want to do that on overlap, but any event you would say, like if it was a line trace is an example. If it's a landscape, this fires. If it's anything other than a landscape, this fires. Simple way to test what kind of an object something is as a cast node. It's amazing to me that I can still remember a lot of this crap, and I haven't been in this engine in a damn year. That's funny. Okay, let's get caught up on chat. Hello, Yaddy. I guess that's how you say that. Adrian says, you didn't implement save games because you did multiplayer. I already read that. For a multiplayer save game, you would need a checksum or something. Yep. Reaper Junkie. Yes. But creating save system for single player games is really a piece of cake since Unreal takes care of most. Yeah, it is. There's a million tutorials on how to make save games. I'll definitely rewatch this stream because I just got here and lost the part where you talked about where you been. Well, the TLDR of that is I ain't been nowhere. I ain't been nowhere. I ain't been doing, I ain't been nowhere. I ain't been working. I've just simply been being a good son and a good brother. And that's really pretty much all I've been up to. Oh, yeah. Bots are insanely rampant on the internet everywhere. Not just in, I mean, they're everywhere. Let me tell you guys a rabbit hole that I went down and see if you guys are aware of this. And this is a 100% fact, by the way. This is not me just making up bullshit. Did you know that there are bots that exist that will respond and reply to comments made under TikTok videos, under YouTube videos, under Facebook posts, under Twitter posts, that'll actually talk back and forth to you as if it was a real thing, a real person. And the majority of the time they do this specifically to start an argument or to start a fight, right? Did you guys know that that's a real thing and it really exists? So whenever you are leaving posts on like videos or message boards or anything like that, if somebody tries to pick a fight with you over something that you said, be aware that you may be arguing with an AI bot. It's not even a real person. How messed up is that? Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. That's the metaverse for you, by the way. Let's see here. Hey, Space Cowboy, long time no see. Yeah, so the other day I was asking myself what you've been up to. Then I said to myself, probably he is fine traveling around the entire U.S. with his truck and listening to some good old school rock and roll. No, I haven't been truck driving. You know, honestly, just to be perfectly honest, I probably would not be able to pass the required health physical that you have to pass in order to be able to get a CDL license, right? You have to have a special driver's license in order to do that. And there's a bunch of quote unquote government requirements that you have to pass in order to be able to get okayed for that license. And there's one thing specifically that they would probably require that I would be absolutely positively unwilling to do. So Nah, I wouldn't be doing that anymore. But I did have a lot of fun doing that, and I did exactly what you just described. I'd put on my Sirius XM radio, turn on some killer tunes, put the hammer down, grab some gears, and drive 700 miles every day. Right, that's exactly what I used to do, which was cool. Our bots, yeah, bots. Who would have ever thought that you would actually be arguing with an AI bot on the internet? Right? Who would have ever thought that? What is the point of bots on streams? Well, that's a good question. I can give you what I think they're for. One thing that they're for is to increase interaction for a specific YouTube page. So here's an example of what I mean. Okay, so Yaddy, Bondish, and Glovania are bots. Well, if you were to go look at the corresponding YouTube page that's associated with these bots, it's probably one of these YouTube pages that they use to try to drive traffic and interaction, right? So every time you comment on a YouTube page, it kicks back to your YouTube page. So that's one reason. Another reason is that there are certain, am I going to freak you guys out if I say this? There are certain things of this world that feed on certain emotions that humans have. And one of those emotions is anger, anxiety. And so sometimes these bots' sole purpose is to just go stir up shit to get people to fight. Well, I hate that son of a bitch. I hate that bastard. Who the hell does he think he is? Well, I'll just type here and tell him, right? I know you guys probably think that I'm crazy for saying that, but it's absolutely true, right? It's absolutely true. The Matrix movies were a documentary, right? They're not as far-fetched as some people would have you believe. We are energetic beings, energy beings, and there are certain things of this world that use us for batteries. How about that? Is that a better way to say it, maybe? I got to be careful what I say on YouTube because they will nail me again for saying things that I'm not supposed to. How do I deal damage with an AI behavior tree? Well, honestly, I don't think that the dealing of damage has anything to do with a behavior tree, right? It would just simply be calling a event from a behavior tree, right? So you would create the damage the same way you would create damage anyway. It would just be that you would call that event apply damage. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? I think it would, probably. Let's see. How to switch camera over shoulder, but still the camera aim at center. Oh God. That's one of them things, right? Oh God. You guys see what he's asking here, right? So you put your crosshair in the center of the screen, and you guys seen the little trick that I do. I'm sure you have at some point in my videos where I get the camera to shoot and it hits exactly where the crosshair is, right? So there is a little bit of an art involved in being able to move the camera to over the shoulder but still get the trace, if that's what you want to call it, get the trace to still line up exactly where the center of the crosshair is. It's complicated, right? It is. It's complicated. Let me bring chat back over here. Let's see. I could see that happening to a few people. No doubt about it. We will experience some crazy shit in the near future. Of that, I have zero doubt. Things are going to, there's zero doubt in my mind, things are going to get really, really, really weird in the near future. Let's see. Adrian, wait again, bro. What? I don't know. I don't know what you're asking, Adrian. Is it something that I said? A lot of the bots on Twitch piggyback on viewers. Then they follow you around to any other streams you go to, which is a scary thought. He's talking about the TPS camera switch, left shoulder and right shoulder. That probably wouldn't be too complicated. Moving kind of like that game World War Z does, right? You can switch it to be on the right side and the third person viewer on the left side. Yes, YouTube gave me a let's see here. How the hell do we do this again? I'll just show you. Yes, YouTube gave me a community guidelines strike for something that I said in a video a year ago whenever I was talking to you guys about the weird thing that happened to me, what that ended me up in the hospital. So I have to be careful. I can't lose my YouTube page because that's where all my videos are for the products that I sell. And that would suck, right? Okay, let's keep going. For each loop with break problems. How can I receive the OSC data in real time without needing to press play? Possible to generate height maps. Let's see, mesh grid system, snap to landscape, parallel splines, collision doesn't update in level editor, top down camera shake, character head turn toward player in VR, multiply camera facing plane. I just need my mesh to be the collision, not the capsule component. We've talked about that before, right? I'm sure you guys know what's going on here. You have to, well, I mean, depending on what it is he's trying to do. So in other words, if he's wanting to, like, you can't not have a capsule component in your mesh, like if it's a skeletal mesh, it doesn't really have a collision. It has a physics asset, which mimics a collision. So if he's simply talking about, I want the bullets to have to hit the mesh, not the capsule, that's easy to do. But if he's wanting to try to say, I don't want the environment to hit the capsule component, I only want it to hit the mesh of the character, well, then that's a lot more complicated. Right? Because one of the things about Unreal Engine, which it might change in Unreal Engine 5, I don't know. In a character blueprint, you're only allowed to have a single collision. Right? We've talked about this before. And it's the capsule component that comes in a character blueprint. And the reason that I got from Epic when I inquired about this myself all the calculations for the game engine is using that capsule component. So in other words, it's used to calculate jumps, it's used to calculate friction, it's used to calculate gravity, right? And so you can't just add another collision component. So it's tricky. And not the Beastie Boys song Tricky. Or wait a minute, that's Run DMC. Never mind. Never mind. Let's see here. Launching project on Quest 2. Animated wave growing static mesh actors. How to measure how many time difference functions like control ring BP takes. Oh Jesus, I don't know. I don't know what that is. How to set scalar value depending on the composure. I don't even know what the hell that is. Recast nav mesh, respawning in persistent level. How to remove keyframes from a level sequence through blueprints. How to trigger simulate physics on overlap with any actor. Once again, you guys know how to do that? Right? Here's how you would do that. Cast. Let's just type actor and see if we have it. Right? So you would cast to, oh God, cast to, let's try it this way, right? Cast to actor. So you can cast to just a generic actor. See here? Cast to actor. That would be any actor. And so, what did he say he wanted to do again? Is it on overlap? What the hell did he say? Overlap. Yeah, it would be exactly that. It would be overlap. So you would get the event for your collision. Actor begin overlap. It would be this. You would check to see if the overlapping object is in fact an actor. And if it is an actor, then you would do the whole set, simulate, physics shit. What is it? Set, sim. Yeah, you would do that. Set, simulate, physics. If it's an actor, this would fire. That would be true. And you would do that. And that would be for any actor. Doesn't matter if it's a gun actor, a dog actor, a cat actor. As long as it's an actor, that will fire true. Simple as that. Cast to is a very important node in this engine if you guys haven't noticed that. Very important. It's a simple question, right? Let me explain that one more time. Any cast node, doesn't matter if it's cast to actor, cast to mesh, cast to landscape, cast to whatever, right? Like there's literally millions of them. So you can just pick whatever it is that you're casting to, and that's simply asking true or false. Is this object that gets put in here, is it what you're asking to cast to? If it's true, that goes. If it's false, that goes. So that's an easy way to check what kind of an object something is. Is it a health pickup? Is it a ammo pickup? Is it a landscape? Is it a, right? Whatever it is. That's simply asking yes or no. That's what that is. Okay? And that's also the way, of course, that you access the other object. First, you got to check to see if it is what you're looking for. Is it a character? If it is a character, let me get his movement speed. Let me get his health. Whatever it is that you put on the character. It took me, when I first started learning how to use this engine, many moons ago, it took me a very long time to understand what the whole notion of casting was for. It's for two things specifically. It's to test what kind of an object something is, and if that turns out to be true, you can then access whatever things that object you checked for has on it. You can call functions that you create, you can call custom events that you can create, you can call variable values that you create, right? That's the two purposes for a cast node. All right, let me bring chat over here. Didn't think YouTube would target small channels. They target every damn body. And the reason that they can do that is because of the AI that they use in their algorithms. It don't matter if you've got 1 subscriber or 1 million subscribers. This YouTube algorithms that they program, AI, are running 24/7, 365, looking for specific things that you say, specific links that you post, specific words that you type. It's constantly looking for that stuff. Just to give you an example, my YouTube page is not very big, obviously, but if you guys have ever watched a very large YouTube page that has a lot of people participating in the chat as they're streaming, and you see comments that just magically get deleted, it says comment removed, the vast majority of the time, it's not moderators in the chat that are removing those comments. It's the damn AI YouTube algorithms that are looking for specific phrases and specific words, and it automatically removes it. I know this for a fact because I was talking to a person that I watch their live stream sometimes, and I said something in there and it got removed. And so I asked the guy, I was like, did you remove my comment? Did any of your moderators remove what I said? No, nobody removed it. YouTube removed it. So sometimes YouTube moderates your chat for you, just so you guys know. Oh, John Galt, that's bull crap. They don't do that. Oh yeah, they do. They absolutely do. And it ain't just YouTube either. It's Twitter, it's Facebook, it's TikTok, right? All of them do it. They all got programs that they run. It's AI, guys, just so you know. It's crazy shit. All right, let's get back to the Unreal 4 forums. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't comment on this. Cast2 is important because it gives you the function, events, variables from the class. Correct. So you can think of Cast2 as I want something from this class. Yes. Also, you can say, are you this? And not have to access anything on the cast. You're simply testing to see if it is a specific thing. But yes, you're correct. Most of the time you do casts in order to acquire information from whatever it is you cast to. But it alternately can be used as a simple true or false. Are you a character blueprint? Yes or no. Are you a landscape? Yes or no. Are you a health pickup? Yes or no. Are you a bullet? Yes or no. Right? So yes. Anyhow, wow, I can't believe I still remember this crap. I will never get this out of my head. Even if I do give up and never use the Unreal Engine anymore, the things that I learned, I worked so hard learning, and for so long, I will. It's like a bicycle, right? You never forget how to ride a bike. You might be slower at pedaling, right? But you'll never forget how to ride it. Using real, not float. So I don't know exactly what this guy's asking for, but I'm assuming that he's wanting to get a value number without a decimal point. That is an integer. Integers are the exact same as a float. The difference is Integers are solid numbers and floats can contain decimal points, right? So if you're wanting to get a health value, as an example, and you don't want to have 99.8 health, then you would convert your health values from integer or from floats to integers. That way you don't have to deal with decimal pointed numbers. Or you can math it, right? Or round it, right? But it's just far simpler to just use integers instead. Okay. Remove an item from inventory, bypass nodes for Windows plugin. AI actors not willing to move on terrain. I only ever did one AI, and that's in my TPS basic template. But I do know that you definitely have to have a navigation mesh. So I would be willing to bet that if his AI will not move, it's because he lacks a navigation mesh or something to that effect, probably. How can I ignore configure logs in function tests, square meters, floor pan, UE4, 5, enable, disable specific inputs, mobile screen size change, anim notify events not firing when animation is played from BTT play animation, network player start, act as camera location, exposing shift child at, can't assign dynamic material to UI, need help with Mario Kart style vehicle. Maybe that's one thing that they will improve in Unreal Engine 5. Vehicles suck in Unreal Engine 4. End of story. End of discussion. They always have, and they probably always will, unless they redo the entire vehicle engine, if you will, in Unreal Engine 5. Let me bring this chat back over here. I still miss that video where you tested that MP asset pack thing that Epic was giving away for free. The one that had lots of bugs. Oh yes, I remember that one. That was actually what spawned my third person template. That template that they gave out for free was so terrible that it caused me, as a response to that template being so terrible, that I created my version, a version of a third person multiplayer template with AI, because that one had AI. I created my own and put it up for, I think, half of what he was asking for his. So I remember that. You know, honestly, I don't know if I ever mentioned this to you guys. I actually got in trouble for that video, just so you know. That video I made doing a review on that template, I actually got in trouble for that. Epic Games contacted me and asked me to remove them. They didn't demand that I remove them, but they asked me to remove them. Right? So I did. I did. I certainly did. So the asset pack that he's talking about, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, you can't say anything bad because it may hurt somebody's feelings. So the template that he's talking about that I did a review on is, Jesus Christ, what was that thing called? That's another one that's shit, by the way. I think it's that one. It's this one right here, right? This is the one that I did the review on that's absolute ass. This one. They gave it away in the free monthly content. I don't remember what month it was or what, but essentially what this guy did after I did a little bit of investigation discovery on this, he copied a tutorial that someone put online for free and modified it just a hair and put it on the marketplace for sale, right? And not only that, the guy that made the tutorial, he made it for single player only, right? And so this guy, after he put it on the marketplace, after he had copied that guy's tutorial and was selling it, people in the comments kept asking him, are you going to convert this over to multiplayer? When are you going to convert this over to multiplayer? If this worked for multiplayer, I would buy it instantly, right? And so this guy then went in there and tried to shoehorn in multiplayer functionality into this template just so that he could sell more copies of it. And none of it worked worth a single damn. Like literally none of them worked worth a single damn. And so I made a video covering it, talking about all the things that were wrong with it. And then we went in and opened up maybe one of the blueprints. I think it was the shotgun, right? And I described exactly what was wrong with the shotgun's logic before I even opened the blueprint. And then when I opened the blueprint and went in there and looked at it, I was like, see, right here, he's doing this and that won't work because everything that you do, it's doing it for however many pellets are supposed to be coming out of the shotgun, right? So after that video was out for like 3 days, Epic Games contacted me and asked me kindly, they didn't demand it, but they was like, you know, it's not really proper for other marketplace content creators to review and criticize other marketplace content creators, right? So in other words, basically what they were saying is, this guy created this and put it on our marketplace, and you are creating things and putting it on our marketplace. How would you feel if he bought your stuff and reviewed it and gave you a bad review? So I just took it down. I mean, what else is there to say about it? I just took it down because honestly, it was free and I didn't give a shit really, but it was pretty upsetting for them to pick that as one of the free content for the months. And it's ass, like it's literal garbage, right? I don't know. I haven't even used it in 1,000 years, but I can guarantee you it's still a piece of shit, right? Because the guy that did this copied a tutorial. Okay. And if you want to see the tutorial that he copied, I can actually show you that even, right? I think it was this guy. Well, piss. We may have to do it this way. Let's try it this way. Oh, shit. I'll never find it. Maybe I can find it that way. There it is. Okay. So this is the tutorial that he copied, right? This guy did a whole series of videos about creating a single player third person cover shooter. Okay. And he followed this guy's tutorial and then he packaged it up and put it on the marketplace for sale. Okay. So if you guys are interested in learning how to make that template, but probably minus all the errors that he made, you could just go follow this tutorial. Okay. It's a shame that, you know, he did that, but he did that nonetheless. I'm sure it ain't the only time that it's ever happened. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back here. So here we go. If you guys actually want a third person multiplayer with multiplayer shooter with AI that's actually okay, here's what you guys should do. Do you see this one right here? No, that's not it. It's this one. Do you see this one right here? Multiplayer TPS basic. This is by a guy named John Galt. He's an asshat too, but at least his stuff works the way that it's supposed to, right? So if you guys actually want a third-person shooter multiplayer with AI, this would be the one that you should buy. Okay? just so you know. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Okay? Let's see here. Oh yeah, that one is bad. I remember now. Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, that kind of fair, but we all know that asset sucks ass. Yeah, it does suck ass. If I remember, he initially used paid for animations. Yes, he did. Then he had to remove those anims and replace them with free assets before he could sell it. Yeah, I don't know exactly what all went on with it. All I know is it's a piece of crap. And it's an expensive piece of crap on top of that. So there you have it. That's just my opinion on it. And I'm sure somebody could go through my stuff and say, wow, this is stupid. This sucks. But at least it works. Okay? At least it works. The way that it says that it works. So there's that. All right, let's move on here. Where the hell did I leave off at? I don't remember. Let's just keep looking. Someone who's good with vectors and transform spaces. When simulate at client destructible mesh are missing. Random seed on event begin play. How to set scoring system with item overlapping box collision. I'm using the teleport node. Interpolate between 2 points without tick. A timer. Event begin play. Set timer. You can do the same thing as a tick, essentially. Event begin play. Set timer. Tick. Nope. You do it this way. Custom event. Add custom event. Tick at this rate. And then you do this. And then you set it to looping, and you can do it every 1 second. You could do it, I think, I don't know this to be fact, but I think if you do 0.33, that's every frame of the game, I think. I don't remember, but anyway, you just do that, right? And then you have it tick at whatever rate event tick would be. But generally speaking, depending on what it is that you're trying to do, of course, you might not need it to be as fast as every frame of the game, right? You might be able to do it every 1 second and it'd be okay. Every half a second and it'd be okay, right? But that would be the way that you could do it without using event tick. You just set yourself a timer. And then if you want to ever stop it, obviously you can promote this to a variable. And then if you want to stop it, you can get that variable and say, how do you kill it again? Set. It's something timer by handle, right? Timer by handle. Oh, here it is. Clear and invalidate timer by handle, right? And that right there will stop that. So if you're trying to reach a specific time, whatever that time is, you do a check here, and after it reaches that amount of time, you do this to your timer handle, and it will kill that timer. So yeah, that's a way that you can do it. All right, moving right along. Let's see here. Use non-default input mapping, save player position and camera position, miscellaneous questions, how to create in-game store for multiplayer games. Oh God. Oh God. Well, if you're asking how to do that, you probably don't need to do that, because that would involve a dedicated server for sure that stores the items, the username, so that if somebody buys something, you can take credit card transactions. I mean, holy shit, that is a massive job to do something like that. Let's see here. Unreal Engine not running blueprint scripts. I'm trying to create a variable by right-clicking a node and nothing happens. Let's see. Loading the next level. UE4.27. I bet that's probably somebody experiencing a lot of latency opening levels. And that is something that happens in the newer engine versions. I had to do a bunch of work on my projects in order to get them to even continue to work in newer engine versions, because for some reason they introduced a significant amount of latency when it comes to the opening of maps and levels. So, let's see here. I think we may have to move into a different area of the forum now, right? I believe we've run through that long enough. Let's see if there's any other ones. Installation and setup, marketplace, events, feedback for Unreal, general discussion. Let's go in this one. I think we used to go in this one. Let's see here. How do I connect the Faceware Blue? Has anyone received rewards for Blueprint Ninja event? Lighting building, Blueprint Ninja challenge. Why does my new axis mapping to change WASD to ZK? Oh God, somebody tried to create remapping of keys. That's an actual hard job unless they've changed it. In Blueprints, it's a hard job. I don't know, somebody that uses C++, it'd probably be pretty easy to do, but I remember looking into that one time, and it is a major pain in the ass to be able to do re-keybinds in Blueprint. Let's see here. How to change folder structure and names for packaged game. Free house models. Drag to copy a window. Capsule object response hit issue. Camera. Relative controller. Server configuration. Need help understanding rotations, especially rotation from let's see here. Let me bring chat back over here. Oh, I remember that John Galt guy. He's awesome. Yeah, he used to be. Once upon a time, he used to really be good at this stuff. I probably forgot more than I ever knew. Would you say that Epic improved the forum, generally speaking? Yeah, I would say it's probably better. Of course, it's different, and change is not my friend, but I would say that it's probably better after you got used to it, more than likely. I don't hate it, but I mean, they did do these tags at the end. I guess that's kind of helpful for people who actually come on here trying to help people. I would say that it still doesn't resolve the issue of people asking the same question 1,000 times in a month because the topics get buried. Once upon a time, I used to make it my business to come onto this forum and actually try to help people. These days, or towards the end of my actually surfing these forums and trying to help, people would ask questions and it would go a month or more without even anybody trying to attempt to help someone. So I kind of quit doing it too. But at least that helps, right? At least if somebody's coming through here, well, I don't need to look at that. Oh, this one's unresolved. Let me go look at this. So yeah, generally speaking, I'd say it's better. I don't hate it, but let's see here. Half my project isn't showing up inside Unreal. What can I do? I would say more than likely what's happened here, without actually going in and reading it, is that someone has a project and they have tried to migrate in assets from a newer engine version into an older engine version, and that don't work, right? We all know that. You can't go from a newer version to an older version. So naturally, if you tried to migrate assets from a newer version into an older version, you go into the older version and look in, it ain't going to show up, right? It ain't going to be in there. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know. Let's see here. Nice. John, are you getting back into Unreal stuff? I would probably say no, right? And if you miss the first part of this live stream, I kind of talk a little bit about why I haven't been doing anything. And mainly it's because I lost motivation. I literally just felt like I was going to vomit every time I wanted to open the engine and do something. And there's, I don't know how to say your name, Piero. I remember you. So good to see you. Yes, I'm still alive. Barely. Let's see here. These topics that we're looking at here are not really interesting to me. Why does it take so extremely long to delete something? Looking for a breakdown of racing game, Unreal startup package implementation, Unreal 4 crashing when right click on textures, UE5 is coming. What do you want? I don't want anything. How's that? Well, this section of the forum here ain't very interesting. Let's see if we can find some. Oh God. Are we literally going to go into animation? My least favorite topic. Oh God. Jump, then fall. Mixamo animations imported into UE4 don't import. Mixamo. I think I just puked a little in my mouth. Rigging and Unreal Engine. Question about performance and of Montage. Mixamo animations, rotations don't work. Ugh. Damn that Mixamo stuff, boy. Metahumans, fingers distorted after retargeting. Armature exporting issues, that's something to do with Blender. I've never used Blender, but I bet you that's armature something or another has got something to do with Blender. What's a pose asset for? Which montage is currently playing? How can I play an animation in reverse with Blueprint? Wouldn't you? I don't know. Can you even do that? I fucking hate animations, right? Did he say a montage? Right? Let me go look at that. Let's see here. Is he asking about a montage? How can I play an animation in reverse? Well, he didn't specify. Right? But I think see, now this is another thing here that's really odd. Okay. And maybe I'm wrong. I might be remembering this wrong, but there's only about 18 different ways to play a fucking a fucking animation in this engine. And depending on which blueprint you're in, it gets even weirder, right? So if you were to do a is montage, oh, see, look, you can't even get that in here, I don't think. Montage, pass to animation montage. So see there, I don't think you can even play. Well, maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking wrong. See, I mean, you've got all these different montage functions in here. Blend time, current section, is stopped, play rate, is active, is playing, jump to section, right? Set play rate right here would be 1, right? And you would just set that to -1, and that would reverse it. But depending on which blueprint you're in, see, we are in the first person projectile blueprint, right? So if you were to actually go into the animation blueprint, which is exactly where you should be doing animation stuff, by the way, I say this all the time, but nobody listens to me. The animation blueprint is called an animation blueprint for a reason, right? Everything to do with animations should be done in the animation blueprint. Does that make sense? So in here, you have all kinds of things like is, montage. See there, it's not even giving it here. Or maybe I'm just doing it wrong. Oh, I know what it is. You don't have to put montage. You just put is playing. See, you got is playing, slot animation. I'm still not seeing it. Montage is playing. Yeah. So right here, you can check to see if it's playing, and you can do a, you know, like a branch here, and you can say if it's not playing, you would do not. If montage is not playing, then you would montage play, right? So first you check to see if it's already playing. If it's not already playing, then you play it, right? I do that a lot. But anyway, yeah, you can set the play rate. So if you wanted to reverse it, you would just get the montage that's currently playing, and then you set the play rate, which we looked at a minute ago. Set play rate, and you just reverse it. New play rate would be -1 if you want it to go backwards. So that is a way that you could do that. All right, let me bring chat back over here. Animations, yay. Oh, God, I hate animation. That Arabic dude. Hello, dude. Asman, hey, man, what's up? Long time no see. Where have you been? You'll have to watch the first of this video if you want to know where I've been. I've been here, but I just ain't been doing any kind of Unreal Engine stuff. Thank you for your time. I hope you go back to Unreal. A lot of people could use your experience. And Dragon Cave Studios is correct, right? You get either the animation that's playing or the montage, depending on which way you do it. If you're just playing an animation, I don't know. See, that's another thing that I always thought was weird. Animations are a pain in the ass. They just are. I don't know. I think that it would have to be a montage in order for you to set the play rate. Like, I don't think you can just take a animation like, see, here's what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. Play. And there is a slot animation. I don't know if there is just a play animation. right? I think that you have to put the animation in a montage. Let me just type animation. A slot animation is playing slot animation, stop slot animation, event blueprint. See, I've seen people do it before. Maybe it's not called animation. Maybe it's called something else, right? Because I've seen people do it. Let me look here. I don't know why I even give a shit, like really. But there's a difference between playing just an animation and playing a animation montage, right? There is a difference. I don't remember exactly what that damn difference was. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we could try it this way. See, there's play animation montage. Maybe it's that you can plug in an animation here. No, see, it only shows up animation montages, right? So there's got to be one for, because I know I've seen this. Set, play. Here we go. See, here's exactly what I'm talking about. So there is a difference between playing a montage and playing just an animation. See, this here, you can only select montages, but this one here will let you pick any animation. So you can put the fire animation in here, just the animation. But here, you have to first put the animation into a montage, right? Same exact animation, but this one has to be in a montage. And if you look here, this one, I don't think gives you the ability to, I don't know, maybe it does. Let's do this. Let's promote this. See, it won't even let you promote this to a variable, right? So see, there is no there is no variable that just holds a animation, right? Like if you was to go over here and try to create a variable, there is nothing in here for an animation, I don't think. You can create a variable for a blueprint, a composite, an instance, a mesh, a montage, a notify, but I don't think you can create just a variable to store a animation. It has to first be put into a montage. I think that's what I'm trying to say. And since you look at these two different nodes here, I don't think there is a animation like set animation play rate. Well, yeah, I guess there is too, right? I'm looking at it right here. So if we were to set play rate FP gun, but how does it know which animation it is? You see what I'm getting at here? So maybe if you was to use this node, it would set every single animation that's playing on this gun at any given time. You could set it to a rate. So in other words, here's what I'm trying to say. If you were to use this here to try to reverse an animation, likely what would happen is, if this gun happens to be playing a fire weapon animation, it will play that fire weapon animation backwards. If this gun happens to be playing a reload animation, it would play that animation backwards. So in other words, every single animation, regardless of which animation is playing on the gun, it would play it backwards. Whereas if you do it as a montage, you can pick which montage it is that you want to set the play rate on, right? So play rate, I believe that's what I'm saying. Well, see, it's not giving me the montage option in here. So maybe we could try this. Let's first promote it to a variable, and then that sets it to an animation montage. And then if you were to take that and say play right? See there, it will not let you do that in the character blueprint. But if you were to be inside the animation blueprint and you were to do that same thing, play montage, right? And you promote this to a variable here, and then you were to take montage and say play rate, you can see right here that it will let you set the montage play rate, but only in the animation blueprint, right? Did you guys catch that? We did the exact same thing in the character blueprint. See, this variable is a montage. And if we try to play rate, you see that we do not have the option in order to be able to set the play rate. In the animation blueprint, you can do the same thing. This is an animation montage, and you actually have the ability to do all these different things to the montage, but only if you do it in the animation blueprint. If you're in any other blueprint other than an animation blueprint, look, the only thing you can do is you can either play the animation montage or you can stop the animation montage, which is where I will once again reiterate, if you're doing something that involves animation, it should be being done in the animation blueprint because it is the animation blueprint, which means you get more options to use different functions of animation specific functions. Does that make sense? Wow, that turned into a big, huge diatribe. Sorry about that. Lordy, lordy, lordy. All right, let me bring chat back over here. Let's see if we can get caught up. Where have you been? I already read that. Set play rate. Pretty sure play rate is covered in the anim nodes in an anim BP. Correct. Otherwise, just duplicate the animation asset and set it -1 there. You're absolutely correct. You could do that as well. Hey, John, just came down to do some Unreal shit for the first time in months, and here you are. Yeah, I ain't been around, dude. I just really ain't. John, I kind of miss that project you were doing for the game you wanted to get released, the cowboy shooter. Yeah, I never did get anywhere with that. Lost all motivation. But that would have been cool, right? I don't know. Who knows what the future may hold? Who knows? I tell you what, though, one thing is for sure. The only income I have had for a year has been what I make on my Udemy course and what I make on those UE4 assets on their marketplace. So the only income I've had for a year came from those specific things. And I can tell you guys that it ain't been very much. So I have blew through all of my savings. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I barely make enough money to scrape by every month. And there are plenty of months that I don't get but maybe $50 for the whole month. So yeah, so there's that. So I don't know what'll happen. Luckily, I don't have any debt. In other words, my house is paid for, my vehicle is paid for. The only debt that I actually have is my utility bill, my phone bill, and my internet bill. And of course, food. So luckily, I don't have a bunch of debt or I'd have been screwed a long time ago. So I don't know. I guess I'll just shrivel up and die. I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. Who knows? Anyway, I'm not trying to whine to you guys, but yeah, it's been pretty slim pickings around here, but I mean, it's my fault, right? If I was trying to run on donations to my PayPal for making videos for you guys, doing private consultations, doing contract work, and if naturally, if I quit doing all that stuff, well, there goes that income. So I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. Who the hell knows? But I guess maybe I need to start generating income again. I don't know. Let's see here. That was a cool concept, and we really didn't see games like that nowadays. You get the play by dropping in the anim asset. But I don't think there's a node for it. It can only be created by dropping in the asset. You may be right, like dragging an animation in. We could try that real quick. Let me move you guys back over here for a second, and we'll try that. Animations, and we just drag one in. And it did not put it in here, but maybe if you do it just in any animation. Nope, it still didn't do it. Maybe that's something they changed. This is engine version 4.15, so they may have actually added that, but as of engine 4.15, it don't look like you can just drag in an animation. Anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. Animations are a pain in the ass. Let's just say that. And that's a fact. All right, let's see here. But I don't think there's a node for it. The animation itself wouldn't be in the event graph though. Then you would have the gun sucking all the bullets back in. Glad you're doing okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Not in the event graph, in the anim side. Have you thought of teaching game development in a school setting? I feel you'd be good at it. I will just tell you guys that I am so antisocial now that I almost have panic attacks being in public, like just going to the store as an example. So it would probably be fun to do that, but I don't think I could get over the antisocial anxiety. See, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm not a people person. I'm friendly, I'm helpful, but I generally just don't like people, specifically being around a bunch of people. And as odd as that may sound, for all the videos and interaction I've done with you guys over the years, you have to consider how long I have been, I guess you would call it, withdrawn from society. So when I left my job at Duracell, I worked at Duracell for 13 years. And I left that job in probably 2005. And then I drove a big rig from 2005 up to, I guess it was about 2015. So about 10 years I drove a semi truck all by myself, nobody with me. And I did it specifically because I wanted to withdraw from society. People started bothering me so much that I just wanted to be left alone. And being a truck driver was a really good way to do that, because the only person I had to answer to was over the phone as my dispatcher. I was my own boss. I set my own hours for the most part. And I worked by myself. And I did that for about 10 years. So then after that, when I quit driving a truck, I started doing this. Actually, I started doing this. Let me say it this way. I started learning how to do this before I ever quit driving a truck. But after I quit driving a truck, I actually started doing this full time. And of course, I was working by myself, other than the interaction I had to do with people that I was doing consultations for and working for. But it was still done remotely. I didn't have to, be around a bunch of people. So as much as I would like to try to teach others in a school setting, I don't think I'd be able to do it. And hello, Mr. David Smiley. I wouldn't say I'm back, but I am back for, at least this live stream. It's been a year, so I figured I would come back and kind of tell everybody hello. And in the first part of this stream, I kind of talk about where I've been and what I ain't been doing, which is nothing. I ain't been doing nothing. 0.0. Let's see here. Where did I leave off? Oh, reverse in Blueprint. MPC root motion. Why are people still trying to use root motion? Don't do that. Don't use root motion. There's a new way. Let's see. Distance matching. How to combine facial animation with body animation. Bone size too small to create physics asset. Multiple aim offsets in anim graph. What is the best practice to use montage and anim state machine? Retarget echo walk animation, not stay in the same place with a DAZ skeleton. Oh, God, here's these damn Mixamo DAZ characters. Been there, done that. If you're not using the default UE4 skeleton, you're doing it wrong, because all you're doing is creating a metric ass load of work for yourself. Go ahead and bite the bullet and use the default UE4 skeleton. And if you need more bones, be sure you follow the correct hierarchy, and you can do that. You can add ponytails, you can add tails to characters, you can do all that, but you have to start from a default UE4 mannequin skeleton. All the damn animations are made for the default skeleton. All the characters are made for the default skeleton. Go ahead and bite the bullet and use the default UE4 skeleton. Save you hundreds of hours of extra unnecessary work. Go ahead, do it. Try it. It'll work. I promise. Animation retargeting like Unity 3D to reuse animation assets at runtime. What machine weight? I don't know about that. Can you change the access values of a blend splice in 1D Anim Blueprint? Animation additive layers. Anim graph help. Physics-based door with closing mechanism. Montage timeline keys. Unreal skeleton joints invert when using basic IK. Saving animation back to USD. I don't even know what. US dollars? How? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Control rig full body constraints. Metahumans. I never did look into them. I seen them advertised, but I never did look into them. All right, well, I think I've went through enough animation stuff. My least favorite topic, by the way. We went in general discussion, went in animation. I think we went in blueprint visual scripting already. What other ones did we go in? Oh my God, multiplayer and networking. That's a new section. I don't know nothing about it. Couldn't help you. Let me bring Chad over here for a sec. So hello, David. Yoza. What's up? How are you doing? Honestly, I wouldn't even add bones for ponytails. Best to just add a separate mesh. I think that you can add virtual bones, right? And make that. There's tutorials on how to do a ponytail that don't involve creating a skeleton with extra bones, but it's not something that I've ever done. But you're right. It's better to not add any bones to a character other than the default ones. But sometimes it's unavoidable. So yeah. See you later, Dragon Cave Studios. Have a good one, bud. All right, let's see here. A multiplayer survival game. Player name does not correctly replicate to all players. I've done that. Replicating firing weapon unresolved. Why? Cannot see the mesh after player controller, whatever. If local IP works, should public IP also work? Wow. I can't believe they added a specific multiplayer section. That's interesting. And as you can see, the vast majority of these I would be willing to guess are all going to be unresolved because nobody answers multiplayer questions, which is the very reason why I thought the YouTube page and the content that I provided would have been extremely useful and extremely popular, enough to the point that I should have been able to make a significant amount of money from doing it, but I was incorrect. Everybody wanted to know what I knew and how to do what I did, but nobody was willing to compensate me much for it, which then made it useless, right? So that's another reason why I don't really do that anymore. I tried to make a decent business out of it, but it just never did come to anything. I tried everything under the sun. I tried Patreon. I tried voluntary donations. I tried partial free stuff with some behind a paywall. I tried Skillshare, got screwed in that deal. And the only thing that I've ever done that's been semi-successful is the course that I have on Udemy right now. That's it, right? Nobody wants to pay anything, which I don't know. I mean, I understand everybody's broke, but you can't just give away hours and hours and hours of your time and not receive any compensation for it. You just can't. No sooner than I would see someone go to work at McDonald's making hamburgers for free, teaching people how to do multiplayer things. Shouldn't be free either. But no matter how much bitching and how much whining and pouting and crying I ever did, it generally didn't make any difference. I had several people that went above and beyond what was asked for compensation, and then the other 99% of people didn't even want to give me $1 for anything. So that's another reason why, I told you guys I lost all motivation. That's another reason why. To what end was I doing this? Just so that somebody would put a thumbs up on a video? That don't buy groceries, right? Just so somebody would come and chat and say, hey, thank you very much, man. I'm so glad you helped me with that. I would have probably never figured that out if it hadn't been for you. That don't buy groceries, right? Even though it feels good to get compliments, that don't buy groceries. right? So, I mean, there's a whole conversation to be had about trying to earn a living doing this stuff. And we've had them before. And I can tell you right now, guys, there ain't no damn money in it. For the amount of time required in order to learn, do, and maintain a content, it far outweighs any compensation that you ever get from it. And I don't like to be the pisser of parades, and I don't like to be the Debbie Downer, but I'm also realistic and truthful. So if you guys are looking to be the next, Tim Sweeney, or make 6 digits a year, you're wasting your time in game development, right? Unless you work for a Tim Sweeney, right? Then you might be able to make it. So there's that. Sorry, I don't mean to be the pisser of parades, but it's the truth. We've had conversations about creating clones of games. I also, my personal opinion, believe that that's also a waste of time. And here's why. If I was to try to create the next Fortnite, me by myself, or even if I had a small team, 4 or 5 people, how am I going to be able to create a Fortnite-ish type game that is good looking, as fun, as compelling, and as with many features to draw people that play Fortnite, the real one, to play my shittier version of Fortnite, right? So there's that. So that's why I don't bother trying to make clones. If you can't come up with something original, you're really literally just wasting your time. Oh, I'm going to remake this game, or I'm going to remake Tomb Raider. Yeah, and nobody's going to play it. They'll just play the real one. It's already done, right? They don't even have to wait on anything. They just go download it or pay $10 for it. Or better yet, wait for Epic Games to give it away for free, right? So there's that. What about releasing a game? Well, let's just pretend for a moment in the land of make-believe where John Galt lives that I had a really kick-ass idea for a game. I started creating the game. I drummed up a bunch of advertisement for the game, and I got people following the game that I was creating. And of course, me working by myself, it would take a long time to take a game from an idea to a finished game ready to be released. And by the time that I got anywhere remotely close to being able to do it, everybody that was interested in it would already be burnt out waiting on it and have given up and forgot completely about it. So then I actually finished the game and released the game. How am I going to drum up enough interest in the game in order to get people to buy the game and to play the game, right? So it's hard. I'll just tell you guys, it's absolutely 100% impossible. To give you guys an example of what I mean, there was this guy. I'm sure some of you guys remember me talking about this guy. So there was this guy named Mark Kern, and Mark Kern was, I forget exactly what his job title was, but he had something to do with the original, I believe it was Warcraft game. And then after he got famous for Warcraft and made astronomical amounts of money, him and some other people decided to create a new game studio called Red 5 Studios. And they came out with a game called Firefall, which was a free-to-play multiplayer MMO shooter, sci-fi, jetpacking, something and another game. And then a lot of shit happened. A lot of shit went down. He ended up getting fired and shit canned from the company for whatever reasons, irrelevant, doesn't matter. So then after that happened, he joined with another guy to create some kind of voxel type game. And there was a big, huge controversy around that game, which then led him to, he was going to create a tabletop game, which then never turned into anything. So then he took the idea of the tabletop game that he was going to create, and he decided he was going to make another version of Firefall based on the lore of the tabletop game that he was going to create. And then many years later, we can see that he's still trying to make this game. And it's nowhere even remotely close. And everything that I've seen, I mean, I haven't followed this in a long time. I gave up on this many moons ago as vaporware that was never going to turn into anything. And this guy here has sold astronomical amounts of items, founder packs, sticker packs, custom skin packs, custom memorabilia, straight up donations, and made, I don't know how much money he's made, shitloads of money, and he still barely has a playable demo that you can run around in and shoot some dumb AI that don't even hardly do anything. And he was a ex-famous game developer that worked for a legit studio that made one of the most popular games of all time, Warcraft or whatever the hell it was. So if he can't do it, then likely us little peons are never going to be able to do it either. So not to be discouraging, right? But there you have it. So let's bring chat back up and see what you guys had to say. Let's see here. With your knowledge, you should be part of a good team or a good game studio. Most of the problem with me working at a game studio is that they want you to work at their game studio. And of course, there ain't really any around here where I live. So they want you to pack your shit and move to where their studio's located at, which you may or may not be out of a job in a year. So you're correct. Really, one of the only ways that you can make money is working at a studio. So in other words, working for Epic Games or any other game development studio. Awesomely, it would be if you could work remote from your home, but most of them don't do that. They want you stuck in their office in a cubicle 8, 10, 12, 14 hours a day. But John, didn't you make money from contract jobs? Yes, I did. I did make money, but that was sporadic, right? So it wasn't a steady source of income. Like there might be one month that I was slammed and made all kinds of money, and then the next month crickets and not make $1. So it's very sporadic. But yes, I did. The vast majority of the money that I have made came from private consultation and private contract jobs. And most of the private contract jobs were prototyping and proof of concept type stuff. So in other words, one of these idea guys is what I call them. One of these idea guys for the next best game would want to see a basic version of his idea put together in an actual real game environment to play around with to see how the mechanics of what they wanted to do felt like. So that was what the vast majority of the contract work that I did. Although occasionally, and this is really what's going to spin you out, occasionally game studios that already have a released game and employees would hire me as a contractor to build a proof of concept. And the reason that they would do this is because, one, it was cheaper because I work cheaper than if I was actually working for the game studio. The second reason that they would do this and have done this is because all of their people are 110% busy working on adding to and maintaining their current game that they have, that they don't have anybody there that has the free time in order to start proof of concept in their next game, right? So it was really a strange situation that I worked in. Really weird environment. Like EA Games contracting me for a month in order to proof of concept something, right? And you're thinking to yourself, well, why the hell are they wanting me to do that? I mean, they've got hundreds of game developers. Why are they wanting me to do that? That's really weird, right? But that's the reason. It's because all their game developers are already busy. That's why you don't see Epic Games putting out more and more and more games. It's because all their developers are 110% busy maintaining Fortnite and working on the engine. They don't have anybody left to do anything. So it's really weird, man. I mean, honestly, it's really just strange. So there's that. What time's it getting to be? Holy crap. Well, we'll keep going here for a little while. But yeah, this game here, just so you guys know, this Ember game, this is never going to see the light of day. And basically, he just sucked up a bunch of money from his community. And I don't really know why he did that, because I'm sure when he lost his job at Red 5 Studios as CEO, he got a golden parachute when he got canned. So in other words, when he got out of that job, I'm sure he left with a couple $1 million for his quote unquote stock in the Red 5 studio. So why he nickel and dimed his community in hopes of getting a game that was similar to Firefall, selling all these hypothetical skin packs that will never see the light of day, I don't have any idea. Other than the fact that he knew from the get-go that he would never get this game completed, and B, he didn't want to waste all his money trying to get it completed because he knew it wasn't ever going to see the light of day. So there's that. Just out of curiosity, how bad can an environment effect be? I mean, you've only got 3 or 4 probably people that even still post on this forum anymore. They've got a Discord server, but I haven't been in there in ages. So yeah. And basically he turned this into a weeb anime porn simulator, right? If you were to look at some of these skins and stuff that he's coming up with, it's basically just pandering to the it's pandering to the anime hentai porn people is exactly what he's doing. And so yeah, there's that, unfortunately. And your boy Virtus, I haven't even checked in on him. I don't know if he still even does anything, right? The last I heard from him, his place got flooded. His studio, quote unquote studio, got flooded. And I don't know. Does he even still do anything anymore? Or I don't know. There was another one too, this Beefalo Bart guy. I don't know if he still does anything or not. Most of the people that used to be hot and heavy into this are not hot and heavy into this anymore. So, I don't know. You mean your boy Virtus? I remember him. That guy used to bug me so much. He's also an idea thief, by the way. I don't know if you guys remember that, but yeah, he used to be an idea thief. Somebody in chat one time, I don't remember who, when, where, or why it was, but somebody asked me if I was interested in making a zombie game. And I told them in the live stream, I was like, zombie games have already been done to death. We have already had plenty enough zombie games. Military killing zombies. I said the only interest I would have in a zombie game would be role reversal. Instead of playing the Marines and stuff trying to kill all the zombies, play as a zombie trying to kill all the Marines and stuff. And so your boy Virtus over there, he announced to his following and his community that he was going to make a game exactly that. And of course, it never did go anywhere, but I thought it was a pretty shitty thing for him to do, to steal my idea, which I never intended on making a game like that, but that would be the only interest I would have, would be playing a zombie game from the different perspective. Instead of being the Marines or whatever, you actually play as the zombie, right? And give them like magical powers and adrenaline boosts and all this kind of stuff. Wait, did you say he died? Oh, you said what if he died? I don't know. Have you guys ever even... Wasn't it called that? Virtus Learning Hub? Wasn't that what it was called? I guess we put YouTube at the end of it. Is this him? V Polly? No, that ain't him. 5 years ago? Oh, wait, this one, I bet's him.
Hey there Dev Squad, Virtus here and welcome back to my Blender 3D modeling tutorial series.
Oh my god, this guy. I bet you. Well, he's got a video here from 3 months ago. 4 months ago. So I don't know. It looks like he's still doing stuff, but it looks like he's changed the name of his YouTube page from Virtus Learning Hub or whatever it was to V Polly, right? I mean, that's what it looks like. I'd about be willing to bet you more than likely what he did was he built this big following on these different platforms and he sold out to another person. People do that, right? I don't know if you guys are aware of that or not. But a lot of people will build a following and then they'll turn around and sell their website or their YouTube page or their Patreon. They'll sell it to someone else. And people buy this simply for the followers that are associated with it. And then they start trying to sell them a bunch of crap, right? That's generally what happens. So your boy Virtus, it seems like he's still doing stuff. I guess. Oh no, John, I'm talking about the famous X game developer that had participated. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he died or not. He lives in California. Mark Kern's his name. Right here's some wiki information about him. Right here he is. Mark Kern left Blizzard in 2006 and he created Red 5 Studios, the title Firefall, before eventually leaving the company after being voted out as CEO by the Red 5's board. So he got booted, right? Like he literally got booted from his own company. And this is his career history. And of course, you don't see nothing on here about Ember, right? I guess it was Warcraft 3 where he gained his fame from. But yeah, that's the dude. Oh, look, Ember. Right here. In 2016, Kern started a project on demand of fans called Ember, a spiritual successor to his previous game Firefall. He created a company called Crixia Labs that will release anything related to Ember, like his tabletop role-playing game. See there, I told you it was some damn tabletop bullshit. Set within the same universe, Ember is a massively multiplayer game. Blah, 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 blah. Approximate time of alpha release after the Kickstarter. So he raised a bunch of money, but once again, that game ain't ever going to see the light of day. Ever. He's just a big windbag that used to be famous, and he ain't famous no more, but he still tries to be relevant and famous. That's essentially what he is. Ripper Junkie. Oh, he's still around and just posted something about NFTs bullshit. Yeah, he's a big Twitter shit poster. He can't get his game created and done because he's too busy shit posting on Twitter. That's essentially what it is. You know, I really shouldn't talk shit about people, but whatever. Everybody can make their own mind up. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. Modify bone, lag, jitter. How to decide where to put game logic. That's a loaded question. It goes everywhere. Character blueprint, player controller, and specifically in multiplayer games, by the way, it actually matters where you put stuff. In a single player game, you can essentially put anything anywhere and it don't really make much of a difference. But in a multiplayer game, there are certain blueprints that have to contain certain logic because otherwise it don't replicate. Which is where game states come in, player states come in, player controllers, game instances. That's where those things actually really matter. If you're just making a single player game, you can put 90% of the shit in the character blueprint and nobody gives a damn. Right? I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing that, but you can. Let's see here. Replication traffic stats in shipping configuration, advanced session, Steam, own desktop as dedicated server, out of date net driver despite seamless travel, outdated client on joining. I wonder how to make a billboard component visible for a certain part of the players connected to the same session. Character jitter when spectating another player. Multiplayer server, channel, lobby. Is there a way to stop render server hosting advice? Order question about RPC and replication. How to get single player working with shared co-op camera. What are the benefits of using seamless travel? Replicated moving platform. Advanced Steam, advanced sessions. A lot of people use that advanced sessions. I don't think I ever even used it. I might have looked at it, but I don't think I ever recall actually implementing it. One of the main reasons is because when you sell stuff on the UE4 marketplace, you cannot use third-party plugins, and that's a third-party plugin. So I had to use the built-in default Steam system to get multiplayer up and running. Client crashes when trying to send replicated actor reference to server. Client cannot connect to listen server of package game. How to select and spawn different pawn for each player using UMG. I've done that. My teams and class select template actually has that, where you get to pick what class you are which then you can use a different character, mesh, animations, whatever it is you want. Arm rotation won't replicate, multiplayer movement bug, networking, rubber banding, getting my simple game online. It works, testing multiplayer locally, but so far no way to connect to remote. Server not updating clients if they are out of sight. Replicate floating pawn movement. I did that with my jetpack. I don't think, no, I didn't use floating pawn. I used, what the hell did I use? I had to redo it after a certain engine, a certain engine version, because they broke the replication of my jetpack. But it still used a regular character movement component. So character capsule component, replication on or off. Packaged and running multiplayer, nothing shows up but the camera in the direction of the player start. Man, there's still tons and tons and tons of people that are having all kinds of issues with multiplayer stuff. I guess that's never going to change, guys, honestly. That was the reason why I focused specifically on that. It was because there was very limited information about it. And pretty much everything that I learned and know about it, I learned on my own. There was no tutorial, if you will, about multiplayer. And then when you did find a tutorial about multiplayer, it was either done wrong, or it could have been done better, differently, or it didn't even flat out work at all. So I finally got frustrated with all that and decided, you know what? I'm going to figure this bullshit out myself. And after many hours and weeks and days and months and years, trial and error, I finally got a semi-operational method down where I could replicate almost anything and get it to work. Understanding the Steam API, building UE4 from source, retrieving player ID and name from Steam session. I did that, right? I'm pretty sure all mine's got, I don't know about the ID, but it's definitely got the name of the player above their head. And that was actually complicated. And on top of that, it changed many different times depending on the engine version that you were using on how you actually had to do it. Perception component not detecting on clients. Multiplayer is a literal pain in the ass when it comes to AI. Literally. Why are spawned objects sometimes not showing up? Thousand player on single map, dedicated server, hardware, and network requirements. A shitload. How to disable a collision without making a laggy client jittering. How to share user-generated files online. Attaching weapon differently for client than owns the player character. I remember that. By God, I've been there, done that. How come this shit don't work? How come it don't work? How come this ain't replicating? Well, let's try it this way. Let's try it this way. Well, let's try it this way. Hey, look, that worked. It was no easy task, guys. I'll just tell you that. It literally was trial and error. It was hell. smooth sync on hover cars. I made it wasn't really a hover car, but it was a grab cycle. I made one of them that replicated, but I never, ever could get all the bugs worked out of it. But it kind of worked fairly decent. But come to find out, the reason that I never could get it to work really good is because of trying to replicate physics was the problem, because Unreal Engine 4 used what was called simulated physics. And what that ended up meaning was that every time it ran a simulation on any physics, it did it a little bit differently every single time. So when you would replicate physics on the server, it would look one way, but the client looking at it would see it a little different, and the next client would see it a little different, and the next client would see it a little different. So it didn't work worth a shit, just to be honest with you. And that was because, and there was no fixing that, right? That's what the engine used, simulated physics. And what that meant was it would simulate it differently for every person connected to the computer, to the server. Still do the same thing, but it wouldn't look exactly the same. Something as simple as a ragdoll when you die, as an example. It would do a ragdoll. Every person looking at the person would see the ragdoll, but the way that it would ragdoll and where it would end up would look different on every single screen. I did figure out a way to fix it though, but it really, I mean, when it comes to Ragdoll, it really didn't fix it, but it kind of tricked it into thinking that it did. And that was to record a Ragdoll animation. And then instead of actually doing set simulate physics on the character, what you would do is play a animation of a Ragdoll. That way it would look exactly the same on everyone's computer. That was the way that you could get around that, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of doing it, but that was a way that you could get around it. To give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and close the forum down. I'm not going to like do it literally. But I'll show you guys kind of what I'm talking about here. And then maybe this is where we'll wrap it up at. So let's do this, right? So we'll delete this and then we will create a third person template. It'll be easier that way. I've showed this before, but it's been a long time, but just to give you guys an idea of some, if you guys don't know this, which a lot of you guys that have been around here for a while probably do, a lot of what you see in games is actually trickery. It's not really what you think it is. It's a smoke screen. It's a disguise. Okay? And one way to do it, a ragdoll as an example, is to pre-record a ragdoll animation. Right? So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So this default mannequin, as an example, if you look in the mesh folder, it comes with a physics asset already pre-created for the mannequin. So this is what I was talking about whenever I said that, God, it's been so long, y'all guys will have to forgive me. This is what I was talking about when they were talking about the collision of the mesh. The mesh actually does not have collision. What it has is a physics asset, which quote unquote simulates physics. Okay. So when you activate a ragdoll, this is what you end up getting, right? So if you, holy shit, if you hit this button here that says simulate, that is what you do when you set simulate physics. It makes it ragdoll. And if you hold down control and left click, you can drag this, you can grab parts of this. Oh, it's right mouse. You can grab parts of this and you can drag him around and make him do this kind of stuff. So what you do is you hit this button up here that says record, and we'll just put this in the mannequin folder. And then you grab this guy and you do that kind of something. And then you hit stop. Okay. And then what you essentially did was, where the hell did I put that? There it is. What you essentially did was you recorded an animation. So instead of actually activating the ragdoll, instead what you do is just put this in a montage and you play it. Right now, of course, I didn't actually try to make it look like a ragdoll, but that's one way that you could do it. Actually, you know what? Since we're dicking around with this, let's try this. Is there a way let's see here. I thought that there was a way. It seems like I did this before. There is a way. I thought that there was a way that you could play an animation and then do this. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe not. Well, it's been too long, but I'm not going to sit in here and, you know, do this. But basically what you would do is get an idle animation playing. And then you would, well, I don't know if you could do that or not. Maybe you could. I don't know. Seems like you could. Well, maybe you could. I don't know. But anyway, what I'm getting at is anywhere you guys see that record button, you can record an animation. That goes for blend spaces. That goes for montages. Anywhere you see that. So as you can see here, if we were to hit record here and then hit simulate and then grab him and throw him around like this, it's recording every single bit of that. And then, of course, you could then modify the animation however you want to. Where the hell did I put that? Son of a bitch. There it is. Right? See? And voila. And then grab it and throw it around. So see, that's basically the way that you could trick it into making people think you're doing a ragdoll when you're actually not. And you could, and this is no problem to replicate, right? It's the damn physics that always replicate differently. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. All right. That's what COD does. I'm assuming that's Call of Duty. Having some nostalgia feelings watching you do this stuff again, not only if it's for a bit. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. And I don't think I'm going to be getting back into this, but maybe I'll come back and, you know, make a video more often than once a year. So there's that. And if any of you guys do feel called to make a donation to my efforts, you can do that on my YouTube page still. So if you're on my YouTube page, I still do have my PayPal link here. So if you guys wanted to buy me a cup of coffee, you can send it to that PayPal and I will receive it. So with that, you guys take care. This is John Galt, and we'll see you guys in another video at some point. So you guys take care. It's good seeing all you guys again. I wish you all the best, and I hope that you guys make more out of this than I ever did. So you guys take care. Have a good one.